Hello and welcome to another edition of Time About the Movies Flashback. Today we're flashing back to October 9th, 1987. And I'm just going to tell you right now, this is going to be a very quick show because I have not seen any of the three movies we're going to be talking about here, so we're going to be very quick on this. So let's just go ahead and just jump right on into it. Let's start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, if you will, and that is a movie that I did not think was very similar to the 2004 Man on Fire, but I was completely wrong. That just shows you how I've not seen this movie. But here's Scott Glenn in the 1987 version of Man on Fire.
Are getting higher. You're not going to kill me, are you? I've just been treated well. And the odds are getting dimmer. Don't do that. Stop that, see? You're crazy, you die. I don't care. Starring Scott Glenn as John Creasy. They want him to pay for the girl. He wants them to pay with their lives. Man on Fire.
Yeah, it's quite literally the exact same plot as the original Man on Fire. Except, of course, Man on Fire, the Denzel Washington one, is the far superior movie. I don't even need to see the movie to know that that's kind of the truth, mostly because nobody ever really talks about this movie, and there's probably a reason why, because most of the reviews I see for it are not that great, but, I mean, it's got decent actors to it. Scott Glenn, Joe Pesci is in it, Danny Aiello, Jonathan Pryce. There's a lot of really good talent involved in the film itself. Unfortunately, nobody ever really talks about this movie, so just on that alone, I probably got to say the movie is not that great, but again, haven't seen the movie, so I can't really say for certain. I didn't even know this was actually is based off of the same movie that the Denzel Washington movie was, so who knows? Maybe it's actually an underrated little gem, but as far as I know, I don't know. No one's ever said you need to check it out, but there's a version that exists from 1987, so there you go. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie. Chuck Berry, Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll.
They gave him the concert of his life. Hail, hail, rock and roll.
The more you find out about it, the less you know about it.
So this is essentially a concert movie featuring Chuck Berry celebrating his 60th birthday, directed by Taylor Hackford, who of course directed An Officer and a Gentleman and Ray. Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones is one of the producers. He's actually one of the performers in here with Linda Ronstadt, Eric Clapton, Bruce Springsteen. There's archival footage of him with John Lennon, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Little Richard, Bo Diddley, Julian Lennon. A lot of talent involved in this movie, and looks like a standard concert film in general. Again, not much more can really add to it, but there's nothing about it that really makes it stand out or anything from that trailer, but I don't know, it could be good, but yeah, like I said, we're getting through this pretty quickly. So, on to the last movie we have here, Mikhail Baryshnikov in the Canon Films movie, Dancers.
You made me cry.
Sorry that you...
I'm not. I just meant that if I could mean something to you, I would love you.
Dancers, a film by Herbert Ross, starring Mikhail Baryshnikov and introducing Julie Kent.
Coincidentally, this is the second movie released by Herbert Ross in 1987, but Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox was obviously the bigger success. Movie itself to be determined, as we'll get to that a little bit later on in the year, but this is a movie that follows a ballet dancer who is planning to make a film version of the ballet Giselle, and how his romance with a young woman parallels the plotline of the ballet. This is Canon Films trying to not be the typical action movie that they usually put out, try to do something a little bit different, but it's still a Canon movie, so yeah, it's going to be very cheap, it's going to be made really quickly, and it's going to waste a talented performance by Mikhail Baryshnikov, who I feel like they made this movie solely because he was in White Nights a couple years ago. That was the far more successful movie, and yeah, I don't know about it, I've never even heard about it, I didn't even know this was a Canon film before I even looked at this, but considering that, I've not heard any good things about it overall, so yeah, probably means it's not a very good movie, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I haven't seen it yet. Maybe because I haven't seen it, I can't tell for certain. But Yeah, nobody's ever said you need to check this movie out. So that should probably be your first warning sign right there. So there you go. That's Dancers. What a terrible week for movies that was. Or, I don't know. I mean, it could have been, these movies could have actually been not that bad, but I've never seen any of them, so I couldn't really give you a full show in particular. I had to give you something out there. What do you want from me? But, that's going to do it for this episode of Talking About the Movies Flashback. We'll flashback to the beginning of the month on October 2nd, next time around, with Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron starring in the body switch comedy Like Father, Like Son, the Ivan Reitman-produced Big Shots, Catherine Bigelow directing Near Dark. We also have Slam Dance and Zombie High. Will these movies be better than this week's movies? One would think so, but we have to wait and see. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. And I'm sorry, but I will give you a much better episode next time around, I promise you. But if for some reason you do like this, your sick, twisted minds or whatever, but if you thought that this show is worthy of something up, please go ahead and check out some of the other episodes I've done. Check out the last episode I did, and also don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you get updates on when new videos come out. But with all that said, I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys next time with a much better episode. I promise you that. But until next time, take care. Good night, everybody.